They take you in under the soft disguise of charity, prospering promises of schooling and a better roof, only to chain your hands to the grindstone. Welcome back to the silent Dossier. Today, we open File 4, a story of cruelty, unpaid debts, and a girl who learns that when motels lock you in a cage, you learn how to walk through walls. In many traditional homes, taking in a young orphan was framed as an act of grace. But inside this particular house, Grace had a cruel face. The woman of the house held absolute power over a young, defenseless child. The child did everything right. She was obedient, quiet, and walked from dawn till midnight, scrubbing floors and making sure everything in the home was well taken care of. Yet, no matter how hard she tried, the woman and her biological children treated her like trash. The woman beat her without cause, forced her own children to insult and mock the orphan, and tore relentlessly at her self-esteem, hoping to turn her spirit to ash as she would believe she was nothing. Abusers always expect their victims to break under the pressure. They sat back, waiting for the day she would stumble, get pregnant, or end up ruined on the streets, so they could point fingers and say, "We told you she was a bastard child." At a very young age, something shifted inside the girl. She found her voice, packed her invisible dignity, and walked out of the house forever. She left behind the beatings, the insults, and the small-minded tyrants. Without their help, and against all odds, she clawed her way to an education. She didn't just survive, she conquered. She built businesses from the ground up, founded powerful companies, and turned herself into a force of nature that the world could no longer ignore. Years later, a success grew so large that it cast a shadow back into our old oppressors. One of the woman's biological children noticed a newly founded company bearing a similar name close to their own. Thinking they could reclaim dominance and shrink her back down to the frightened orphan she once was, the child said, arrogantly, "I noticed you founded a company using my name. Is it for me?" The woman also tried to reclaim dominance over the orphan, as the girl reached out to her when she lost her child, to empathize, and she told the girl, "I have still not changed. I am still the same person." And that was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that, but they thought she was still the helpless girl under their roof. They were catastrophically wrong. She didn't just reply, she exposed them. In a public takedown, she listed every single act of abuse, every scar, and every cruelty they thought they had buried in the dark. The family went completely silent, frozen in terror. But their fears isn't just about her wealth or her words. It goes deeper than the unseen realm. They are terrified of her because she unlocked a terrifying superpower. She can appear in their dreams like an avenging phantom. She can step into rooms unseen and disappear into smoke. And she held the spiritual authority to withhold success from their household. They woke up shaking in the night, knowing they have poked a sleeping spirit that can alter their reality. You can starve a child, beat a child, and try to break her name, But if she chooses and discovers her own power, she will turn your entire bloodline into her own ghost story. The file is closed. Guard your secrets. Stay silent.